is neurodivergence a real scientific concept, or is it just a buzzword that divides us? To understand this, we have to look at history. The term neurodiversity wasn't created by a pharmaceutical company. It wasn't created by a doctor trying to sell pills. It was coined in the late 1990s by an Australian sociologist named Judy Singer. Now, Judy, who's on the autism spectrum herself, proposed a radical idea. She argued that just as biodiversity is essential for the health of an ecosystem, neurodiversity, the natural variation in human brains, is essential for the human race. She was saying that the differences in our brains are a natural biological fact. There's a common argument that I saw pop up in the comments where people would say there's no such thing as neurodivergence because there is no such thing as neurotypical. We are all different. I love the spirit of that. I do. It sounds inclusive, but scientifically, I have to disagree. While every human personality is unique, human biology relies on patterns, and there is a statistical standard for how the human brain processes information. People like Dr. Russell Barkley, who has dedicated his life to studying ADHD, there is a very specific architecture to a typical brain. And in a neurotypical brain, the prefrontal cortex, right? That's the part that's right behind your forehead. That's like the CEO of your brain. It handles things like emotional regulation. It handles planning. It handles working memory. To do this, the brain uses chemicals called neurotransmitters. So that's things like dopamine, norepinephrine. These are all messengers. In a neurotypical brain, these messengers cross the synapse. That's the gap between neurons. A neurotypical brain will cross that gap reliably. They bind to receptors. They do their job. Now, in a neurodivergent brain, specifically with ADHD, that chemistry is different. This isn't a metaphor. This is a physical thing that happens. With a neurodivergent brain, we either don't produce enough dopamine or our transporters clear it away way too fast before it can do its job. So when I was diagnosed in 2022 at the age of 34, it wasn't because I had a unique personality. It was because my executive functioning was crashing. It was chemistry. So when people say there is no normal, I think that they are ignoring the medical reality that there is a functional baseline. And those of us who deviate from that baseline, we need different tools in order to survive.